Recording in progress.
Mouse.
Hello listeners, Cuthbert here. Today we present you with an edition of a Yeti Spaghetti show, which didn't quite go to plan. It actually went out live on the internet as a test for broadcasting episodes from outer space, but sadly none of the anecdotes really worked, and there was also a technical fault, which meant that a previously unheard article with Paul and Top P had to be substituted until the episode could continue. It's certainly not the most polished episode. However, it does have some good guests and amusing moments, so we thought you might still enjoy it. Please take a listen.
I must protect Shy Yeti.
I love mouses.
How are you? Hope you're fine. It is the Shy Yeti show.
Okay, where you go?
Aloha.
Why have I got horns?
Oh no.
Oh, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh, there's going to be some drama ahead.
All I wanted was a pie, and then I hatched out of an egg.
Okay, bring the mic over.
He's ready to record.
Is it metaphorical? Is it deep?
Your show's getting so international, Paul.
Good boy. He's not all that shy, is right.
Such a wimp.
Blimey, Governor. It's the Shy Life Podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Hello, Paul.
I didn't know how he does it.
Excellent.
814. Bonjour et bienvenue au podcast de Shy Life.
Hello. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Yeti Spaghetti. It's a very special episode, isn't it, Cromitty? It is indeed. It is our April Fool's special. We've got some extra special guests, and no, it's not just Paul and Bettina. This time, well, should we tell them yet, Uncle John? I think we ought to, just in case they decide to tune out. Yeah, this time we've got Grizzly and Charlotte Shade telling us anecdotes of April Fool's activities that have befallen them. Obviously, we'll be sharing some anecdotes ourselves. Yes, and I think Paul will be here briefly, but let's run the theme music, and we'll be back. Are we allowed to say that? Is the Shy Life Podcast got that copyrighted? I think it's fine. You say what you like. All right, let's run that theme music.
Darling, it's the Shy Life Podcast.
My favorite person is here.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling.
Yeah, but it's a positive thing, Paul. The highlight, the Shy Life.
I'll tell you anyway, but
Hello, chappers. How are you?
Go Shy Yeti.
Oh my, I've never found out my secret. Maybe you have.
I love the Yeti test. It's my favorite thing.
If you thought that was bad, just listen to this.
Yeah, I'm strangely drawn to Yeti Uncle John's ankles as well.
I could eat my body weight in crisps.
Has anyone seen my hot sausage?
it's all gooey and meaty and yum, 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 yum.
Oh my goodness. It was enormous.
I don't think I'm ready to speak about it.
Here comes the Grizzly.
It's the Shy Life Podcast.
I can't wait for it to begin.
Alright, I'm just being an alien.
I like that.
Hi there.
Marvelous, Paul.
Oh, cooking like no nothing.
Okay, we are recording.
So, Cromitty, are we going to tell anecdotes of our own first? Yes, we will do. Would you like to start? Oh, yes. Let's have some music. And when we come back, I'll tell you an anecdote about, an April Fool's event that befell me. Yes, all right, go on. Who's starting? I don't mind. You? Go on. Oh yes, right. Once upon a time, one April, somebody told me that there was a new invention had arrived in the village. It was bagpipes that played themselves, using advanced Scottish wind simulation technology, apparently. Oh, goodness. I've never heard of that. Oh, no. I was very keen to see them demonstrated. I rushed to the village hall, only to find that, there was a pair of bagpipes lying there. It was tied to a vacuum cleaner, set on reverse mode. It wasn't really self-playing bagpipes anyway. You could barely hear the bagpipes over the sound of the vacuum cleaner. Oh, how very disappointing. Yes. It sucked up my scarf, my shopping list, half a packet of custard creams, and it was most disappointing. Did you ever find out who did the prank? We never did. No. It was a mystery. Oh, golly. Cromitty, do you think that anecdote was funny enough? Well, it was kind of funny. Oh, I'm not sure. It seemed funnier in rehearsals. Yes, you're right. What if I said it in French? You could give it a go? On a dit à l'oncle Yeti John qu'une nouvelle invention venait d'arriver des cornemuses qui jouent tout seul. No, it's no funnier. Well, you tried. Why don't you tell a story? Yes, all right. It was back when I was teaching at the university. In my classroom, I had installed a new, it wasn't called AI back then, but it was basically what would become AI. It was an intelligent, powered blackboard that would automatically correct any mistakes. Well, sounds good. Yes. So I wrote on the board an equation. Oh yes, and what happened? Well, it's rather embarrassing. The board flashed, beeped, and displayed an error message. Please consult a real mathematician. It turned out, it wasn't an intelligent blackboard. It was just a projector connected to a very sarcastic graduate student in the next room. Oh dear. Yes, they were all laughing at me. It made me cry. I didn't understand. Oh, Cromitty, that's awful. Yes, it was not a very nice prank to play on me. No. Oh dear. This is not the vibe I was looking for. Come on, let's see if we can find something funnier. All right, yes, okay. Perhaps our guests will have something funnier too. Yes, but they're not ready yet. Oh, are they not? All right, okay. Well, do you have another story? Yes. Do you want it in French? No, just stick to English. Oh, thank goodness. I did spend a little bit of time working in a museum, and they acquired this priceless invisible Victorian tea set, and they wanted me to unveil it. So I did. I pulled the cloth away with great ceremony, but there was nothing underneath. Everybody applauded. Oh, well, I mean, it was an invisible Victorian tea set. Yes, well, Turns out that the curator had actually forgotten to bring it out, so it wasn't there. It just looked a bit stupid, and I sat down on this table for a rest, and crack. Oh no, Yeti Uncle John. Yeah, well, he sat on the real invisible tea set. I don't think that was your fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't really a prank. It's just that the curator had forgotten to bring out the, I mean, this is the trouble with invisible things. If you don't want people to sit on them, then you do have to sort of, Yes, I know. I felt very stupid. Oh, Yeti Uncle John. I'm sorry, I'm bringing the mood down again. No, that's fine. Let me think. It reminds me of the time when some of my colleagues told me they'd built a time machine, and I went to visit their laboratory, and they showed me what they called the temporal chamber. So I entered, I had to press a button, and the lights all went out. And when I came out of the temporal chamber, everyone was standing there. They were dressed in 1970s clothes, and they were acting very confused by modern technology. I spent 10 minutes explaining how a smartphone worked to somebody who was wearing flares. And then, well, turns out it was all a joke. When I'd been in the temporal chamber, which was really just a cupboard, they'd all just changed clothes. Really? Yes. Oh, well, that's an actual prank, though. To be fair, that is an actual prank property. Yes, I guess so. No, that's kind of funny. I think they did quite well to fool you. Oh, yes, I suppose it is quite fun. Yes. Anyway, I suppose we better move on. Yes, we better do. I'm glad your last story was funny. I don't know what's happened. All these stories seem far more funny in rehearsals. Yes, but don't say that to the listeners. Just pretend it's all going fine. It's all going fine, listeners. Why don't you listen to some music when we come back? The first of our two guests will be here. Yes, yeah. You can hear the stories of their adventures. Yes. Anyway, here we are now for our first special guest. Grizzly, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you for having me, boys.
Oh, it's absolutely fine. Now, I'm very much looking forward to hearing a story about an April Fool event that befell you. But let me just tell you a quick one that happened to me. So I was working in the lab one day, and we just bought a coffee machine that brewed drinks using quantum entanglement. And I pressed the button for a cappuccino, and the machine beeped and it whirred, and it dispensed a single ice cube. And there was a note reading, "Your beverage is currently in superposition. Please check again in 3 to 4 business days." It wasn't ideal, but I don't know if that counts as an April Fool, or whether it was just a prank, or whether it was the machine playing a prank on me. Anyway, oh dear. Grizzly, tell us your story.
So I was in the magic school with my magic teammates Lucy and Melody, and we were sent out for a mission. It's supposed to be a regular mission, so we were like, oh, there is some powerful magic labyrinth that changes from time to time, and there is that creature that is prisoning people and eating them, so we were like, okay, we are going there, and we went there. We got lost after like an hour, so we couldn't find that creature. So we are just walking, and every hall looked the same. So we were super confused what to do next. And then we heard this weird voice. It wasn't actually a voice, it was like a growl, something made by animal. So we are thinking it's a minotaur because it was a mystical labyrinth. So of course there are going to be a minotaur. Like we are in the Greece. Yeah, we were sent to Greece. I forgot to mention it. So we were looking for that minotaur, and we were trying to identify the place we heard the voice from, and when we get there, it was the weirdest thing we've ever seen, because it wasn't a minotaur, it was fishotaur, probably. It wasn't even a mermaid. It was having a human legs with fish head and body of half fish, half person. I don't know what was that.
Sounds like the reverse of a mermaid.
Yeah, but it was covered with fur and it had horns on its ass, so...
Oh dear.
That was some strange hybrid. And apparently it wasn't even a mission. We were pranked. Because one of the girls from opposing team just put us in her illusions, so we didn't even left the main hall of the school.
Oh dear. Oh.
And the time distortion, I know her illusions are advanced, but we felt like we spent like 3 or 4 days in, and it was like 15 minutes, so, and everyone was laughing.
The thing is, these days, April Fool's pranks can be very high tech. It's not like giving somebody an apple made of wax and them eating it and then going, oh no, this is wax, which it would have been. Those sorts of April Fool's pranks were very basic back in the day, but these days they're very technological.
Well, it wasn't technological, it was magic, but, we didn't even knew it's an April Fool's because the magical calendar is way more complicated than the normal one, because the time is passing in different tempo in the magic dimension, so it's actually like 1077 days for a year in normal way. So we didn't even track the calendar because we were like, whatever. So if we tracked the calendar, we knew we are going to be pranked, but well.
Oh dear. It reminds me of a time when I was working at these labs, and I had this memo saying that my office had been moved to a state-of-the-art workplace, and I followed the signs, and it took me to this door, and there was like a code, and I had to type in the code, and then I went inside the office, and inside this office there was like a deck chair for like the beach. There was a desk lamp, but it had no bulb. And there was a motivational poster on the wall that said, "Think outside the cupboard." And I was thinking, what's going on? Have I come to the wrong place? And then I realized that the code I'd had to type in was 0104, like the 1st of April. And I opened the door of the cupboard, and I looked up. There was a big crowd of people waiting for me, and I looked back. They were pointing at the door, and I looked, and it said broom cupboard. It was a prank. I found it so ridiculous. Luckily, there was a new state-of-the-art workspace for me to move into. But for a moment, I thought, oh my goodness, what's going on? Oh dear. Well, Grizzly, thank you for telling your story. And listeners, if you want to listen to some music when we come back, we'll have our other special guest. Grizzly, I hope you'll stay around to the end of the show, because we may need your help with something right at the end.
Okie dokie, thank you.
Hello, listeners. In a minute, we've got our next special guest. She's just doing her makeup, so I'll just tell you a quick mini prank that happened to me once. Many years ago. I was living in this village, and during that time, I was sort of like the village handyman. I would do gardening, I would do DIY, and one day I received this letter saying that I was going to be honoured with a dedicated parking space outside the post office. Oh, it was very nice. I thought, wow, how lovely. So I arrived at the post office, only to find a sign which read, "Reserved for Yeti Uncle John's invisible car." And just as I got there, a traffic warden politely asked me to move the vehicle, and they stood there tapping their clipboard. I had to mime driving the car away. I was very confused. I didn't have an invisible car, and I think it was a prank. I mean, it was a prank. It was definitely done to make me look a bit stupid. I couldn't quite work out why. I mean, it wasn't even April the 1st, but I think, anyway. Cromitty, what did you think of that anecdote?
It was okay, I guess.
Again, I'm pretty sure it was funnier in rehearsals.
No, you're right. Something isn't quite right. I don't understand.
Are we still recording?
Yes, apparently we are. Oh goodness. Just act like nothing's happened.
Act like nothing's happened?
Let's bring on the other guest.
Oh right, yes. I'll get out there.
Hello again, listeners. It was at this point in the transmission that technology got the better of Cromitty and Yeti Uncle John, and so at short notice a previously unbroadcast chat between Paul and Top Piece Melly was substituted, while Stick attempted to get things working again. The article concerns vintage TV and was originally intended to feature on the Round the Archives podcast. However, before that was possible, the series went on hiatus, so this is the only place that you'll get to hear this little chat. Please enjoy.
Hello, Trevi and Lisa. Hello, Round the Archives people. We're back. It's me, Paul the Shy Yeti, and I've got Toppy Smelly of the Smellcast. Oh, and Lotzel. Yes, we're here. We're going to talk to you about something, aren't we, Toppy?
Yes, we are. Glad to be here. Glad to see Round the Archives out there.
This time, I thought we'd talk about, well, I guess the term is television reunion films. And mostly we're going to talk about American ones because I'm hoping you'll have a better sort of, you'll know more about them for a start, whereas you might not necessarily know about the British ones. And also, I don't think we do reunion movies half as often as they
probably
do.
For the best, because rarely do they ever recapture what they had, but some of them did.
Yeah, I've got a whole list here. Some of them are series I'd never even heard of in the first place, like the Danny Thomas Show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. That's a real old one. That may go back to the late 50s, but it was probably 62, 63, something like that. Of course, Danny Thomas did. It was a family sitcom where he had precocious children and a wife, and he's the father of Marlo Thomas. Did you know that? Yeah. Anyways, sure. I've seen the original Danny Thomas show. It's a classic of its kind, and he would break the fourth wall a lot. He would talk to the audience, and I never did see the reunion, but I'm sure it was like maybe a 2-hour special or something like that.
My facts say, that originally it ran from 53 to 57 on ABC.
Oh wow, that long ago.
But then it ran from 57 to 64 on CBS. So maybe you're more aware of the CBS episodes, or whether that's so. It might have been live, the early 50s ones. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was not. It was out there, but it was not routinely in syndicated form, which is when I would have seen a lot of shows of that time period. When they were distributed to TV stations as a syndicated package. Don't remember Danny Thomas being around all that much.
There was something called the Danny Thomas Hour as well, but the spin-offs there was the Danny Thomas TV Family Reunion in 1965.
Oh wow!
But that was only I was noticing, actually, going through this list, that some of the reunion movies, the show's barely finished and they're doing a reunion movie. I know. I was kind of aware that was the case with something like Dynasty, where it finished in about 89, and then they were doing the sort of reunion movie only in as early as 91. But I thought that was weird until I saw that actually that it was quite common to do that. But there was a Father Knows Best reunion.
Oh, good Lord!
That was in 77, though. That was 17 years after the last episode.
Yeah. I know someone who absolutely adores that reunion, and I finally watched it. And after listening to this friend go on and on about it, how he's watched it so many times, I said, well, I guess I need to check it out. It was horrible. It was just horrible. It had the worst plot line. It barely moved. It had the characters and they were there, but oh my Lord, it was just horrible.
Actually, there was two in 77. There was the Father Knows Best reunion, and then the Father Knows Best Home for Christmas.
Oh, that's the one.
That's the
one that my friend just watched every Christmas, and it was like, oh no, I finally saw it, and this is awful.
There was one for Peyton Place as well. That in 77. That was at least 8 years after it had last been on TV.
I vaguely recall that. Yeah.
That was and also Halloween with the New Addams Family.
Yeah.
That was 77 as well, and that was like 10 or 11 years after it had last been on.
Yeah. I wonder if all the characters were still alive. I think by then they all still were.
Yeah. It says it seems to suggest as much. But there were things like Maverick, which finished in 62, had one in 78 called the New Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
And
that one I remember because I hadn't seen too many of the original Maverick, but James Garner is very appealing on screen, even on TV. And here's the thing, and you can't get around it, especially when there's years in between the original and the reunion, is they get older. And sometimes it's a little hard to see, like, wow, boy, is he old now. Yeah. And sometimes that's an obstacle. And, they're not going to do, like, if they're in an action show, and it's 20 years later, they're not going to be doing the action much, or it's going to be incredibly obvious there's a double.
I wonder whether that, I wonder whether that's the case with, because in 79 and 80 they did the Wild Wild West Revisited and more Wild Wild West. But I know that at least one of the main cast was kind of ill a bit towards the end of the last season in '69. So I don't know.
Yeah, William Conrad and good Lord, what was his name? Bill. He was a great character actor.
Was it Conrad and Ross Martin?
Ross Martin. Yeah, he was. And even in the original show, he was not in the thick of the action scenes. That was William Conrad's, that's where he was great at. He was great at the stunts. And he would rehearse a lot with his fellow stuntmen, and he would use like the same crew week after week. It would be the same stuntmen in different costumes. And, they had it down to a T, like they could block it out and rehearse it and have these, scenes where Major West is fighting against 5 people. And, and they were well choreographed. They were interesting fight scenes, but Ross Martin would maybe be standing in the corner with a vase to break over the head of one of the bad guys, And by the course of the reunion, well, Robert Conrad was a fitness nut, and he still excelled in those action sequences, even in the reunion.
I see that one of them had Victor Bueno, who was, I think, in one of the early, he was been in one of the first episodes of the original series.
Yeah, he was a villain that returned to the Wild Wild West at least 3 times. And the other thing about the Wild Wild West is, there was definitely a magic, a time and a place for the Wild Wild West. But then years later, it's hard to regenerate that magic. It doesn't always work. It always comes out, I really wanted to see this, but this is a little less, it just ain't as good.
But there's, whether the same can be said for these ones, but let me tell you some of them, and if you remember seeing any of these, we've got, in 78, we've got Rescue from Gilligan's Island.
Oh, Lord.
In 79, The Castaways on Gilligan Island.
Yeah. Say what you will about the original Gilligan's Island. Let's just say they remained just as stupid and dumb in the reunion.
Yeah, it hadn't been on TV for over 10 years by the time it came back. So.
Yeah. Tina Louise did not come back as her character, the movie star, because she always felt that show was beneath her, and she never wanted to come back, but the rest of them did. And, so what do we do in the reunion? Well, we rescue them, which is great on paper because it really makes you want to tune in to see it. Oh, they're going to get rescued. Well, but then there's no point in the show anymore. They're rescued. They're saved. So they were, I don't know, I think it was a good idea in the following reunion movie to take them back to the island. They all say, let's go back to the island. We liked it there. And we'll open a resort. And people will come and stay at our resort. So it kind of became Gilligan's Island / Fantasy Island.
You've got a few more, around the same time, late 70s, early 80s, you've got some more obscure ones, like The Return of Mod Squad. I know about Mod Squad, but I've never seen an episode.
Oh, really? I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah,
it was a great show. I watched it because it was in syndication. I may have even watched it when it was first running.
It was from 68 to 73. I've looked, because when I've done episodes with Martin Holmes for Vision on Sound, we kind of were looking to see what shows were available on YouTube, like a more obscure sort of 60s or 70s shows. And I did find some examples like Policewoman and Kojak and things like that. And I was kind of keen to see an episode of Mod Squad, but at the time I could find trailers, but not whole episodes.
Yeah. No, it's worth tracking down. It was very exemplary of the police dramas of the time, and in that, they were really trying to make it look fresh and new, and these young kids. So I totally tuned into the reunion.
Oh, sorry. Deals, have you seen it? Have you seen Mod Squad?
Oh, Deals probably loves Peggy Lipton.
Do you? Well, I guess you have a lot of time for watching TV over the years. Yes, you do.
Yes.
But
so I loved Clarence William III. But here's the thing that they didn't do that they should have. When you're going to do a reunion years later, you kind of gotta remember that times have changed a lot.
Yeah.
And in the original series, Peggy Lipton was often the helpless female. And, that was very standard for the time. And when they did the reunion, it would have been nice if things had changed enough where, maybe she was the one who rescued one of the guys, but she was still kind of played the helpless, like, no, I'm the weak female character. They got to rescue me, and it's too bad. Other than that, the chemistry between the three originals was still there, and it was fun. But come on, Peggy Lipton should have been whipping people's asses by then.
Well, particularly as in a sort of a product of the late 60s, early 70s, which should have been quite forward thinking anyway. So then, whiz it on another 6 years, 7 years. It should be even more the case, but we've also got the return of Frank Cannon, which that had been off the air for about 4 years by then. This was in late 80.
Oh no!
And you've got the Brady girls get married. The Brady bunch.
Well, let's back up to Frank Cannon because that I don't know. That show always amused me because the actor is just a very large man, and they would sometimes do action sequences with him where he had to run. Okay, I'm sorry, it just looked funny, and I didn't see the reunion. That did not call to me to say, "Oh, I've got to see the Frank Cannon reunion." That didn't happen.
I hope this is not indelicate to say so, but maybe Frank Cannon wished he wasn't Frank Cannon and wished he was Ironside, because then he could have just sat and let people push him around.
I can actually imagine. I know Cannon has been crippled and he's in a wheelchair. How about that for the movie? No, we can't.
Ironside comes out of the shadows going, no, that's my thing.
I think there was an Ironside reunion.
Yes, movie. There is. We'll get to that if we. I won't go. We'll stop. We'll stop in the. Well, we'll stop in the early 90s. We could do part 2 of this because there is quite a lot more than I ever realised. But we've got The Monsters' Revenge in 1981, and apparently that had was the last time the original cast sort of appeared on screen together. This one sounds bad. Going back to Gilligan's Island, the Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island.
Yes,
that's in 1981.
So I think that was the third one, and by then it was established that they had this resort island thing, and the Harlem Globetrotters are at least one of the guests that are staying there. Oh Lord, it very much resembled an episode of Scooby-Doo where the Harlem Globetrotters guest starred. It wasn't much different.
You also got Return of the Beverly Hillbillies in 1981.
Oh God, that was one that.
That was a good 10 years after it last been on.
That was very sad. That was very sad.
I imagine the Beverly Hillbillies must have gone into colour in the later seasons. The only time I've ever seen because it went on till 1971, so it must have been colour by the end. But my memory is I only ever saw it in black and white when I don't know that I sat and watched the whole episode, but I do remember it being on when I was a kid, on sort of filling spaces in schedules. But I never remember seeing it like in colour.
Yeah. I didn't either because we had black and white sets and everything was black and white. But they did film the latter seasons in color. But it worked. It looked great in black and white. So the one, well, Granny was still Granny. Jed was a little tired by that time. And Jethro was the only actor who managed to still be dumb old Jethro. Anyways, but it was just, it just, sometimes you just shouldn't do reunion movies.
there were a lot of Waltons and Little House on the Prairie reunions in the 80s.
Yeah. The Waltons reunions, I definitely saw every single one of them because that was a beloved show of mine. And
those are definitely examples of reunion shows that happened quite. It finished in 81, the actual series, but they were doing a wedding on Walton's Mountain in 82, and like doing a couple a year for a while.
The reunions were very much like the last two seasons of the Waltons, where they had reached this pace. I'm not quite. It very different from the first 5 seasons, which were, when the Waltons made their reputation as a quality show with great writing. By the time the last 2 seasons rolled around, things became a little pat, and somehow all of those wonderful children who seemed brilliant when they were young grew up to be the worst actors on the planet. I swear to God, every single one of them they got worse and worse as they got older in terms of seeming natural. My God, those kids, when they started out, were just like, oh my God, they were perfect. They hit their marks. They were completely believable. But 10 years later, they were all grown up and they were horrible actors.
Deals, come and join us if you want to talk about these reunion shows. Come on.
Yeah, so the Waltons reunion movies, while, a dedicated fan would appreciate, anyone else tuning in would say, why was this show so famous? This is kind of a standard drivel.
Are you not a fan of the Waltons, or are you a fan of the Waltons? I can't tell. Anyway, 83 was when they did Return of the Man from U.N.C.L.E., the 15 years later affair. I'm not even sure that's the only one. I think there might be another one. Deals, you're the expert.
Yeah.
You're the expert.
He is. But I never saw that one. Of course, Man from U.N.C.L.E. was in its day very popular here. It must have had time over there with David McCallum. It must have been over there. You must have.
Oh yes,
seen
we definitely saw that, and we knew David McCallum from other shows that he was in over here, like Sapphire and Steel, which is which was sort of late 70s, early 80s. Actually, the timings fit in that he probably did it soon after finishing Sapphire and Steel. They also did a Kojak one in 85.
Oh Lord,
the Belarus file.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I was never. I never got into Kojak.
Yeah,
I got into Kolchak.
Kolchak,
the Night Stalker. That was a very different thing.
Which on another show just this week, we brought up the fact that it wasn't a reunion movie, but they did do in the noughties a very short-lived like reboot or whatever you wanted to call it, where somebody else played Kolchak. And it only lasted for about half a dozen episodes. I'm not even sure half of them were screened. And Kolchak was played by a British actor. I do have a DVD of it somewhere. I don't think I've ever watched it, but I bought it. But they also did reunions of things like I Dream of Jeannie 15 years later, which
yeah, I saw that.
I'm much more familiar with Bewitched than I am with I Dream of Jeannie. I wonder if Larry Hagman came back for that, because he'd have been in the middle of doing Dallas at that point. But
as this is what I recall, he did not come back for it. And the guy from the first couple seasons of MASH, what the hell was his name? He was Hawkeye's bunkmate for the first couple of seasons. He played Trapper. Can't think of the actor's name, but anyways, he played Major Healy in the reunion. And of course, well, Larry Hagman, you can't replace him. You just can't. It was not. So it suffered mainly because there was no Larry Hagman.
Bill Daly?
Bill Daly was the comic foil. Well, not they were both comic, but he played the friend that was involved in almost every storyline in the original series. And Bill Daly did come back.
Oh, Wayne Rogers.
Wayne Rogers, that was the guy who played Trapper John, and he came back. He got hired somehow. Okay. I don't know who his agent was, but they should have said, "Are you kidding? Don't even bother." But he probably needed the work, or whatever. Anyways, of course, it wasn't the same without Larry Hagman.
They did another Kojak in '87, and also around this time, it's when Raymond Burr started coming back to do Perry Mason. He did far more Perry Mason. He did do an Ironside one in the '90s, just before he died, but I think that's probably because he'd been quite successfully doing Perry Mason reunion movies again.
Oddly enough, Perry Mason still worked all those years later, mostly because, that show was never anything more than the stories about the people in trouble, and some of it may have been, what clever way is Perry Mason going to get them out of this? And it still worked. I mean, CBS, as I recalled, CBS had so many legal dramas and things. It's like, God, one time there was so many of them. Anyways, that worked, believe it or not.
They did. They even did Kung Fu the movie as in Kung Fu from the 70s.
Not David Carradine. Was it Carradine? Yeah, it was.
David Carradine.
He's a son of the very famous character actor John Carradine, who was in The Grapes of Wrath and 5,000 million other movies. And that Kung Fu had kind of a cult following. And I tuned in because I was one of the people that really liked Kung Fu. And, it was a tamer version of what it used to do. It pretty much tried to be what it was, and everybody was older, and, it was okay.
I think by this point, they're almost doing a reunion movie for everything. Finished 20 years ago, that's fine, it doesn't matter. You've got, in the late 80s, you've got Gunsmoke, you've got Ben Casey, you've got Doobie Gillis, you've got Bonanza, and more Brady Bunch stuff.
Jeepers, how come I didn't see the Bonanza reunion? It's easy to figure out why they did that. I mean, it's the same reason why most of the movies that we see in the theater are sequels, because they feel like, there's we know people are going to tune in because they used to. So this is a pretty good bet. We're going to do good in the ratings. Sometimes it didn't work, but.
Around the late 80s is when they started doing the $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman sort of reunion movies.
Lord have mercy. That's another example of where the actors, I believe you that you were in these action roles back then. I'm not sure I'm quite believing your thing. And so they were just, again, they were a little tamer, and they tried things like bringing in other Bionic characters like the Bionic Boy and I think the Bionic Girl. I think even before the Bionic Woman ended, they had a Bionic Dog. So,
and they did some Incredible Hulk ones as well.
Yeah.
Around the same time.
Yeah, and those the last one they did, The Death of the Incredible Hulk, was actually, thank goodness, recaptured what the original series had, and was actually quite good, quite compelling. But the other two were, what they were hoping to do was soft introduce other Marvel characters. So Daredevil was one of the characters that was part of the Hulk story. And then unimaginably horrible, they brought in Thor. And it was Thor and the Hulk, and it just, oh God, they were very lame. But the death of the Incredible Hulk, they ended in glory. A great Hulk movie.
You've got Marcus Welby, which I don't really know. I know the name, and Sam McLeod.
McLeod.
They're sort of at least 10, 12 years after they last had an episode. I was wondering why, because I see here that like in those Kojak reunion movies started really speeding up in the late 80s into the 90s. But I don't know whether it's just this list. Why would the Kojak reunion movies be considered reunion movies, and yet all those Columbo ones was that more of Columbo is actually back?
Well, here's the thing. The difference was the production schedule that Columbo was on from the beginning, where it wasn't a weekly show.
Yeah.
But they did 2-hour movies, and in a sense, Columbo never really left. And when it came back, you couldn't really say it was a reunion. It was just Columbo a couple, 3 years later or whatever. And, Peter Falk did that role. He was quite old in the last season. And he actually had taken over the show as far as the production of it and really called the shots. And some of his things worked and others not so much. But yeah, you can't. Columbo was there for years and years, but not really a reunion.
One of my favorites. I don't know if I've seen this one because they also did. I guess they don't consider this a reunion movie because maybe it was at the cinema. But this one I'm going to mention wasn't at the cinema. Get Smart Again in 1989.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Sure, wasn't there one called The Nude Bomb, which was but that was probably a theater release.
Yes. Here's the weird thing: is I think The Nude Bomb was first, and I'm not sure they originally thought they were going to be putting that in the theaters, but somewhere along the line, I think they said, you know what? To hell with TV. Let's get this to the movie theaters. And I don't know if you ever saw it, but I've seen one or other of those, and I can't remember which. Yeah,
I've either seen that or I've seen the one with the Get Smart Again.
Well, the Nude Bomb is kind of a hoot to watch because it's so bad that it's good. It was made by Universal, and they reused props and things from, you recognize them. Most notably at the end, Cylons from Battlestar Galactica show up. Like, come on! And but I went to the theater to see it.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, whatever. Barbara Feldon did not come back, I don't think, for The Nude Bomb.
Yeah,
but here's the weird thing. There was a reunion movie after that that was made for TV.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the Get Smart Again one.
And it was much better. It was much better, and Barbara Feldon was back for it.
She was back for that, yeah. Well, these lists goes on and on, but loads of Kojak, Gunsmoke, Green Acres. This is all into the 90s, and I know even Knight Rider was, which which sort of ran to the mid 80s. Even by the early 90s, it was having reboots and reunion movies.
I don't think Hasselhoff had anything to do with those because he was doing that
Baywatch.
Baywatch.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did sort of reimagine Knight Rider.
The return. There are quite a few Gunsmoke ones. The Return of Ironside in '93. Oh, of course. Before we go, I noticed in the '90s they did a fair few Heart to Heart reunion movies. I quite liked Heart to Heart. Well, at least I liked the original series. I don't know about the
yeah. And that was a very formulaic show to begin with, and the reunion movies pretty much followed in the footsteps, and they were okay. They weren't all that bad.
Cagney and Lacey had reunion movies. The Rockford Files, Bonanza again. Simon and Simon, Hunter, Alien Nation. I remember watching Alien Nation like when it was on, or friends lent me tapes of it because I don't know. I think it might have been shown on over here on the satellite channel, but I don't think I knew that they'd done reunion movies. Project Alf. I remember Alf.
Oh, good Lord!
But I didn't know that he'd come back. Yeah, I mean they do sort of. Definitely, sort of late '70s to late '90s was the era of the reunion movie. There's far less. Once you get, not totally. Murder, She Wrote was still doing reunion movies into the noughties, but Diagnosis Murder, L.A. Law, but not as often. Not as often as they sort of peter out in the early noughties. But even Dukes of Hazzard came back.
Oh God! Oh geez, the shows that were pretty much done by 1970 that had reunion shows in the maybe by the late 70s or early 80s, those are the most striking changes because my God, there was just such a difference between the late 60s and late 70s that the world really changed and audiences' preferences really changed, and as the later produced reunion shows didn't have that divide. Somehow they translated better, that maybe the times didn't seem all that different, and they just did what they used to do, and it worked. So, but some of those early ones were like, well, I mean, Mod Squad is a perfect example.
Yeah.
It was the cool thing in the 60s, but that reunion movie, you could hardly call it cool. I mean, they just weren't cool anymore.
Whereas I can't imagine that Heart to Heart was very different in the 80s.
No,
or in the 90s. It was just maybe different 80s fashions and 90s fashions. That's probably it.
That's it. That's about it. Yeah, that's a great example of a later one that, they did the reunion, not all that different. Pretty much just followed the same formula.
Anyway, Toppy, thank you for talking about some of these. I know some of the listeners won't necessarily have seen every series you mentioned, but they'll certainly be aware of all those names because they're quite famous shows. And I was just interested to see what your views were. Thank you very much. And
you're welcome.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Lisa and Troby, for having us. And we'll be back again soon, I hope. Please invite us back.
Please.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Right. Yes, deals and deals. I should have said goodbye to deals, shouldn't we? Anyway, listeners, our next guest is here now, Charlotte Shade. Hello, Charlotte.
Hello, I'm recharge my story, so just whatever. So it was 1962. Well, I was a young actress, still thinking Polish things. I supposed to play in very first slasher movie in Poland. It was The Killing Demon.
My role didn't supposed to be a big because I was still a rookie actress, so it's supposed to be at the beginning of the movie. So probably most of the people didn't even remember my name of my character because I was already big, so they knew me but didn't know my character. Anyway, running away through some hall, some abandoned hotel, and I was hearing screaming from other people, so I assumed I'm not going to die first. Because, they gave me the script, but it was ridiculous. It didn't tell anything. It was like, run, scream, survive. Could you please decide what do I supposed to do? So anyway, I was running, and there was an empty room, so I closed the door. And then, from the locker, someone in costume of the bunny, just jumped out. And I was screaming like I'm going to die. He had a knife, but he dropped the knife. Why he dropped the knife? He's about to kill me. And then he just took out the huge, long candy cane, punching me. Then I just realized I was pranked because it wasn't a slasher movie. It was a parody of a slasher movie, which is supposed to be released as a primer in the cinemas for Easter. It wasn't even a movie. Can you understand that? They used me, the famous Charlotte Shade, for something like that. I know I wasn't known yet, but how dare them? After all, the bunny was a handsome fellow, so we had some time in that hotel room as a revenge for the practice.
Oh, goodness. You mean you polished his candy cane? Oh, golly. I can see how embarrassing that might have been. I mean, what if people from the future travelled back to the past? They'd be like, why is Charlotte Shade being treated so badly? So it's kind of embarrassing for many reasons. It reminds me of the time when I was asked to perform a mandatory penguin census. I couldn't find any penguins, so I just had to make it up. But it turned out to be a joke at the end. And anyway, it's bad when people don't give you the full information. But,
they just get fooled.
Absolutely. Well, let's listen to some music. Thank you, Charlotte. Let's listen to some music, and when we come back, we've got a little bit. We need a little bit of help from you and Grizzly.
Okay.
Oh dear. The microphone wasn't working properly, was it? She kept cutting out.
Something wasn't right.
There's sparks coming out of that microphone down there.
It wasn't like that earlier.
No, I know. Oh goodness. This whole episode is, well, it's if it was Friday the 13th, I'd understand.
Well, it could be that somebody's playing a trick on us.
I don't know, but who?
Oh, I'm not sure. Oh dear.
Well, don't worry, we're nearly at the end of the episode. Let's just do a few more anecdotes of our own.
Yes, all right. I think this is being broadcast again.
I thought the listeners were listening to music.
So did I. Oh dear. So many things are going wrong this episode.
Oh dear. Oh golly. Oh gosh.
Hello one final time, listeners. It was at this point that transmission was broken once again, and so it was decided to broadcast a brief recording by Paul where he answers some letters concerning roller skating mice. Apparently it's quite a problem these days. Anyway, enjoy. The show returns to normal following this section, and our hosts were able to wish the outer space audience their appreciation for listening before wishing them good night!
Hi listeners, hi. Next up we have some agony aunt letters. Yes. So what exactly have people been writing into me about this time? Well, let me see. I've grouped them all together as usual. And, yes. Okay, let me see. Yes. Alright. It seems that this time the letters are mostly about dealing with, well, have a listen. This one I have subtitled the Midnight Derby Problem. Dear Paul the Shy Yeti, I hardly know how to begin. For the past fortnight I have been woken at precisely 2:17 a.m. by what I can only describe as tiny wheels rattling across my floorboards. Upon investigation, armed with a torch and my dressing gown tied very tightly, I discovered 3 mice wearing what appeared to be roller skates, circling my kitchen in a synchronized routine. They did seem terribly committed. One even squeaked in what I assumed was a form of encouragement to the others. In a way, I admired the discipline, if it hadn't been for the fact that they were using my best mixing bowls as slalom cones. I did try politely asking them to stop, but they simply increased their speed. How does one reason with athletic rodents? Yours, sleep-deprived in Surrey. Could even be a neighbour of mine. It's very difficult. These guys, they do what they want to do. They don't really care what you think. If you really want to get rid of them, and you don't want to encourage them to roller skate in your kitchen, then maybe, I don't know, get some recordings of really angry sounding mice, or maybe have a dog barking, or maybe actually get a dog or a cat. It depends. You have to get a good one though, otherwise they might just show up when they know the cat or dog are asleep. I'm not sure. Sorry not to be more useful. The next one I've called the Cheese Protection Dilemma. Dear Paul the Shy Yeti, I pride myself on maintaining a respectable cheese board. However, a gang of mice, who I can only describe as delinquents, have taken to breaking in nightly and sampling it. This would be tolerable if they showed any appreciation. Instead, they scoff, leave crumbs, and one of them had the audacity to push a note towards me reading, "Needs more maturity." Worse still, I have recently observed 2 of them attempting to roller skate across a wedge of brie, which ended in what I can only call a dairy-based catastrophe. How do I assert dominance over such brazen critics? Yours faithfully, cheesed off. I think you probably need to get security. Yeah, equally so, maybe get a safe that's also a fridge. And, yeah, it depends, because maybe there's safe crackers and could get in. It's a difficult one. The next one I've called the neighbourhood reputation issue. Dear Paul the Shy Yeti, I fear my reputation is in ruins. My neighbours have begun whispering about the house with the skating mice. Last Tuesday, a small crowd gathered outside my window to watch what appeared to be a rodent relay race. One mouse wore a tiny headband. Another seemed to be officiating with a whistle. I attempted to draw the curtains, but they had already gnawed artistic viewing holes into them. I cannot move house over this, but I also cannot live in it as a spectator to what is essentially a rodent Olympics. How do I reclaim both my home and my dignity? Yours sincerely, Mortified of Middlesex. I don't know, my answer is similar to my answer for the other ones. I don't know. You could charge the audience to watch. You could get security, you could get a cat, you could get a dog. it is a complex one, but if you can't move, you have to find a way to live with it. It's amazing how many letters I've received about roller skating mice, it has to be said. Dear Paul the Shy Yeti, what began as a single mouse on wheels has become something far more organised. There are now uniforms. There are teams. There is, I regret to inform you, a scoreboard. I recently caught them arguing over what sounded suspiciously like league rankings. My greatest fear is that this is only the beginning. If mice can roller skate, what comes next? Cycling, ice dancing, a governing body? Should I intervene now, or is it already too late? Signed anxiously, watching it all unfold. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just the same person writing, because these letters have been showing up for years. It's quite possible that it's the same person or people that are affected by these mice, unless it really has become a wide-scale problem, which perhaps it has. Obviously, I do have friends that I could speak to. This might be a good excuse for me to contact Gladstone McWhiskers, the Mouse of Commons and Lords, because at least he could speak to them on their own terms. I'll have a word to his secretary, Ollie Woodlass. Not my friend Ollie. He's not a Woodlass. No, not at all. It may be that serious that, I think Gladstone probably needs to be contacted. Dear Paul the Shy Yeti, I never thought I would say this, but I have grown rather fond of the little roller skating mice that inhabit my pantry. Maybe this is the same person, and the problems are beginning to sort themselves out. Yes, they are noisy, yes, they have questionable table manners, but last evening one of them performed what I can only describe as a perfect pirouette and looked up at me as if awaiting applause. I clapped, I don't know why. Now I fear I have encouraged them. They seem to be practising more. Is it wrong to support their dreams, even if those dreams involve using my home as a training facility? Warm regards. Conflicted but impressed. I really wish I'd got to these letters sooner. Kind of hope that this is a sign that, perhaps these letters are all from the same family, and that maybe they're beginning to find a way to live with their performing mice. You are very much torn between, are you supporting them? Are you encouraging them? If you show some appreciation for their athletics. But the fact that they look up to you must mean that they're doing something that they hope is of interest to you, or that you can appreciate. It's a difficult one. It really is. But I can only wish you good luck. And I really hope that, it is something that can be resolved. We'll see. Now the letters are sort of coming through to me faster. Please do feel free to update me and we can return to the subject at a later date. All right, good luck. And, just do your best to try and live side by side with these obviously quite talented rodents. But I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. Maybe they can advise you on what cheese to buy. They may know what's best. Who knows? All right. Bye-bye for now.
Well, listeners, it's nearly the end of the episode. Thank you so much to our special guests. Apologies this episode for some of the technical difficulties we've been having. Yes, and somebody ate our scripts. The dog ate my script. Oh, yes, that's right. some of our anecdotes were a little bit diminished, not quite as we were expecting.
Yes. Anyway, Cromitty, do you have any more anecdotes of an April Fool's related nature?
Yes. Back to my lab again, and I just had my lab door upgraded to a voice-activated system. But when I got to the door, I'd read the instruction manual, and I stood outside the door, and I kept shouting at it, "Open sesame."
Why were you shouting that?
Because that's what it said on the piece of paper. Shout out, "Open sesame," and the door will open.
Oh, right. It didn't work?
No, it didn't work because it was a load of nonsense. I was standing there shouting at the door. My face was red. And then one of the students just walked out. Apparently the door hadn't been changed at all. I just looked a fool.
Oh, dear. Well, I mean, at least it was a prank.
It was, yes. What about you, Yeti Uncle John? Any more anecdotes?
Yes. It was the time I paid to go to a luxury spa. I gave them a whole bag of gobstoppers. You know, they're my favourite.
You paid for the spa treatment with gobstoppers?
Yes, they're a sweet, by the way. Like an old-style sweet, you suck them. Yeah, fills your gob.
Yes, I'm sure the listeners know this. So what, the luxury spa treatment wasn't quite what you expected?
No, it said it was a Yeti-tailored spa experience. But when I got there was just a swimming pool, a garden hose, and a sign which said hydrothermal rejuvenation chamber. I went in there, I got sprayed with cold water. Then at the end I received a certificate that said I've been spiritually exfoliated.
Oh dear. You gave them a whole bag of gobstoppers?
Yeah, my whole monthly quota. I had to do without after that. I was most upset.
Oh dear.
I'm feeling sad now.
Oh yeah, Uncle John, I completely understand. I think that perhaps it's nearly time to say goodbye. But let's just get the guests back for one final little section. The agony aunt section.
Oh yes, that'll be funny. People sent in some April Fool's related like agony aunt letters.
Yes, they've done exactly that. I read them earlier. They seem very funny.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh dear. I don't know what's been wrong with this episode. It's just not gone to plan, has it?
Well, not quite, but anyway, we're still recording. Listeners, please listen to some music and join us again in a moment.
Yes, please do. This is going to be very funny. Funny. Ha ha ha.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, listeners, well, we nearly reached the end of the show. But, well, we have some agony aunt letters this time that are from people who have experienced sort of, well, they've either been the victim or they've been the person who has originated the idea and maybe it's gone wrong. So, Grizzly, Charlotte, I'll read the letter. They were quite brief, but I'd like your opinion on how you think you deal with the matter. So here we go. Dear Charlotte and Grizzly, I thought it would be funny to fill my flatmate's hairdryer with glitter. Now she sparkles like a disco ball and refuses to speak to me. Help. What do you think she should do?
Well, she can always shave her head, so she won't sparkle anymore.
Yes?
She could send to her friend of a revenge a glitter bomb in a box, so her whole apartment will be filled with the glitter.
That's an idea too.
Yes. Well, I like both those ideas. The internet suggests that the prankster should offer to clean up and treat their friend to a nice dinner They describe glitter as the herpes of the craft world. It lingers, so patience and kindness will be key.
Well, the question is it edible glitter?
Well, that would be less of a problem. I'm not sure. Let's move on to another question. I coated the bathroom soap in clear nail polish. My brother spent 10 minutes trying to wash his hands before storming out, and now he is sulking.
What was the question?
Well, it's more an anecdote. The writer says, I coated the bathroom soap in clear nail polish. My brother spent 10 minutes trying to wash his hands before storming out, and now he's sulking. Well, what should they do?
I don't know.
Well, I think they can just take the shower.
I mean, after all, it's pretty harmless, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even understand what happened. I mean, what do the nail polish do with any harm with the soap?
Well, I guess he was rubbing himself with the soap, and nothing was happening because he didn't realize it was covered in nail polish. But, I mean, I don't think I'd admit to it, to be honest. I think I'd just kind of go, oh goodness, it must be a manufacturing fault. I don't see why I would get myself into trouble.
And I think, only one layer of the soap would be covered. So after a few minutes under the shower, it would just get scrapped. So that's the lame joke.
Perhaps the guy in the shower doesn't wash himself properly. He didn't get down to the second layer. But oh dear. The next letter. Oh dear. I think we must have a lot of dad jokes here. People who think dad jokes are funny. This one says, I told my kids I made brownies, but then I served them a tray of brown paper letter E's, and they got upset. I mean, I can understand why they'd be upset, can't you? I mean,
yeah, I would be upset if you offer me a cookie and then you're giving me a paper. That's the highest form of traitorry.
What do you think, Charlotte?
Well, the kids should learn from the young age that not everything will go as they think it would go. And, the paper is still some calories. When you are young, aspiring actress, you learn to eat things just to show people you are eating, but actually you are not eating because you are eating a paper. But you didn't have to throw up because the paper had no calories. I mean, it had some calories, but not as much as a brownie. So maybe those kids just should suck up and eat that paper.
Yes, Charlotte, that's a good point. Oh dear. These letters are, as you say, poverty. The people sending them in are stupider than the jokes, I think. Oh dear, Yeti, Uncle John. There's one here about, I turned everything on my colleague's desk upside down. She laughed until she spilt her tea. I mean, who cares? I mean, it's not a very good anecdote. It's not, is it? Is there not even one good one? Where did you get these letters from? Well, I wrote off to fakeletters.com. Fakeletters.com? Oh, let me have a look. Sorry guys. We're hoping for a slightly higher quality agony aunt letters, but this one says, I put a realistic fake spider in my mum's shoe. She screamed so loudly the neighbors came over. And the internet just says, what you should do is apologize and reassure it's a fake spider. Maybe give her a plant. I mean, these are rubbish. Yeah, they are pretty rubbish. I'm really sorry about this, Charlotte. Really sorry. I feel like the internet has played a prank on us. Yes. What would you say?
Sir, so you have to get pranked too.
Yes, I can see what you mean. Sometimes your April Fool's episode gets pranked by somebody. I wonder who could have pranked April Fool's episode.
Don't look at me.
Oh, it wasn't me. Oh, well, maybe this was. I replaced our milk with watered down white paint for a laugh. My partner nearly drank it. Oh, the internet says that's risky. Never use anything unsafe. Replace the milk, apologise, and stick to edible pranks. Oh, that's really spoilt the mood. Oh dear. I lowered my friend's office chair to the minimum height, and she thought she was shrinking. Oh dear.
You should turn off that page. It's useless.
I told my dad our toaster was now voice activated. He spent 5 minutes shouting toast at it.
Dad's jokes are funnier than that.
Oh dear. Well, listeners, I think it's time to go now. I'm sorry our episode has been less funny than we hoped. I think there has been a problem with our scriptwriter this time. Anyway, thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Grizzly. I'm sure the listeners enjoyed the episode.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, for having us.
Yes, well, goodbye for now. Oh, I thought Paul was coming on the show. Well, I thought he was, but I don't know where he is. It's probably another prank. Oh, dear. Hi guys, how was your episode? It wasn't as funny as we were hoping. In fact, it was awful. Yes, it was very awful. Did you have anything to do with it? No, not me. No, not me. What a shame. As I've been preparing these a whole list of the best April Fool's pranks ever. Would you like me to read them before the show ends? Well, Paul, you can't make matters anything worse. Right, yeah. Well, here are some classic April Fool's pranks. Frozen cereal. You can pour milk over cereal and freeze it overnight. You could cover the bottom of a computer mouse with tape so that it won't work. You could change common words in someone's phone to something ridiculous. Actually, that happens to my phone pretty much anyway, so maybe somebody's already done that to me. You can tape an air horn under a chair so it honks when someone sits on it. You could coat a bar of soap in clear nail polish. I think that's one of the ones that was in one of your anecdotes. Yes, it was. Yes. Maybe this list has been done by the same people who did your suggestions. Yes, maybe, Paul. You could take a screenshot of someone's desktop, set it as the background and hide the real icons. You could put a sign on a printer or vending machine that says now voice activated. That sounds like one of the ideas. Yes, perhaps. You could set all the clocks in the house to run backward. Actually, how would you do that? I don't know how you'd do that. You could set a cracked phone screen wallpaper on someone's device. Paul, I don't think your suggestions are any funnier. I think the whole show is an absolute failure. It's like someone pranked us.
It's not a failure.
Something's not right. I really don't know. I mean, I must admit, I did think when I looked at this original list that the suggestions were a lot funnier, but I don't know. Who could have done this? I don't know. I promise you, it wasn't me. I promise you, Grizzly. I promise you, Charlotte, and yes, Uncle John, and Comedy, it was not me. Somebody's having a game with us. I'm pretty sure that this whole list is changed from the list I had earlier. In fact, I must admit that's why I'm a bit late. I couldn't find my list and it just vanished. And I was looking around and suddenly it was there and I just grabbed it and came out and read it and who on earth could it be? Schedule a fake meeting on a co-worker's calendar with a funny title. That's very unfunny. Tape a full cup of water to the ceiling and see how they remove it. I mean, that could be funny, but also messy. Also not easy to do. Move a co-worker's desk items closer together each day. Connect a wireless mouse to someone's computer and randomly move the cursor.
That's just happening with my cursor in my work without random people touching my mouse, so...
Cover an entire desk, chair or monitor in sticky notes. Oh, funnily enough, there's a sticky note on this computer. It says, the doorbell will ring. You've got a visitor. It's the prankster. What could it mean? Oh, blimey. I think we're about to find out who's pranked this episode. Well, wait till I speak to them. Oh dear, I can hear the theme music. Listeners, hold on tight. We're about to find out who is the prankster. Oh goodness. Oh dear.
I gotta go now! Bye! I want to go with you! Gotta go! Bye!
Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah, goodbye.
Wow. Really? No kidding.
Thank you, darling. And you too. Bye-bye.
That was beautifully done.
You can always call me.
Oh, that sounded good.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network. Find more shows over at pride48.com.
Oh dear, what's going on now? Oh, it's the Shy Life podcast.
Let's go.
I have a voice. I have a voice.
You have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
We have a voice.
Unique voices in podcasting.
UnivazPods.net.
That is so cringe, oh my god.
You're a man of culture as well.
Property, you should do the talking. It's your show. Oh, yes, sorry. I'm going to open the door and see who the prankster is. Oh, yes, I'm going to open the door too. Goodness.
And I'm not.
No. And Charlotte seems to have gone. Oh dear. Somebody open the door. Oh, I'm opening the door.
Hello. It's me. I'm in disguise. I am the prankster.
Oh my goodness, he's the prank. He's like a jester with the tail. And I recognise that voice. I recognise that voice too.
Hello, Dad, it's me, Albert the Dragon.
Albert, we haven't seen you for ages. Are you the prankster?
I'm the prankster. Oh, I thought I'd come and surprise you, because, it's April Fool's, isn't it? April Fool's.
Did you replace the scripts with unfunny jokes?
Oh, I did, yes, I did, mostly. Some of them were okay, but, yeah. Sorry, guys.
You pranked us. He pranked us, didn't he, guys? He most certainly did.
Yes, he did. Oh, dear. Hello, Grizzly. Sorry, mate.
No problem. You know, we have newses. I'm not sure if Paul told you. Paul?
What?
Tell him the news.
Oh, yeah. Albert, Grizzly and I are getting married.
What? Are you pranking me?
No. We're getting married. Will you be our page boy, Dragon?
Well, yes, of course I will. Is it really happening?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's really happening. Meet your new stepdad.
Oh, hello. I know you already.
You don't have to call me stepdad or dad. Let's stick to the usual.
Oh, no, are you sure it's not a prank?
Not a prank. Not a prank. Oh dear. Albert, it's lovely to see you. Are you going to stick around?
I'm going to stick around, yes. Well, on and off. I've got to do some Phoenix business in this area. So you might see a bit more of me in the next few weeks.
Well, that would be good. We've got a lot to tell you.
Oh, well, I'm very glad to hear it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Albert.
Oh, but we do have one bit of surprise news that we have Grizzly's pregnant.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Grizzly's going to lay an egg. You're going to have a little sister.
What?
That was the prank.
Paul, that was rubbish.
Just goes with the whole vibe of the episode then, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness, I think I need to lie down.
Please, come along, Albert. Oh, dear. Don't try and prank the boy. Yeah, that's not very nice, Paul. After what Albert just did to your show? I don't know. Anyway, it's time to go now.
Yes, time to go. Thank you. Thank you for listening, listeners.
We'll be back soon, hopefully, if we don't get cancelled. I do hope not.
Oh, sorry, guys. I hope your show doesn't get cancelled because of me.
I don't know. Albert. Whew.
Albert.
Yeah.
This is just the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Well, gotta tell you, I didn't expect that.
What the hell just happened on this show? I mean, seriously, reverse it, because I lost. What's going on? What happened?
Man, was that worth it or not? Oh my goodness, that was a darling little shoe. Whoa, I love that one. Great show, Paul. Yep, that was a good shoe.
I'm gonna have some orange squash now. It's an exciting life.
Oi, oi, that's your lot. Bye.
Et voila.
Everyone's a critic.
Herkese merhaba. Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh my god, yes. Why didn't I think of that? Oh my god, you're so cool. You're like the coolest Yeti ever.
814.
You can improvise like me with my anecdotes, which were hopeless.
Damn.
What a beautiful angel. Oh, he sings like an angel. Oh, God, did you hear him? He stinks like an angel. Fab, I'm crying actual tears. Actual tears, Cromitty.
That one.
Thank you, buddy.
No problem. Bye.
Should I turn off the recording?
Okay, stopping recording now.
Very cool.